Hey, awesome and amazing fourth graders. So when I filmed the content for day 6 and 7, I was thinking back and I was thinking, if you have the paper packet, you have the information about the 4 people we're making posters for day 7 of the packet for work. But if you're doing it digitally and you've turned in your slides and they have not been returned to you with feedback yet, I know that mine weren't due until Monday, and it takes me about a week to get through feedback myself. So if you don't have those, you might not have the information about the people. So I wanted to just go over the 4 people that you're pretending to have a press conference for. And so I'm going to share my screen with you real quick, and we're just going to go over the important things those people did, just in case you forgot from last week, just in case you've lost it in the packet work, just in case. Okay, so I want us to go through, and we're going to look at, this would be a set of notes that we would probably actually go through. And I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't full screen that. Can I get this out of my way? All right, can I view it? All right. All right, well, let me go full screen. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to get it as big as we can. And I'm going to go ahead and make this really big. All right, so let's go over Nat Turner and what he did. So Nat Turner was, of course, very pivotal in the Civil War. He led a revolt against plantation owners in Virginia. What that word revolt means is that Nat Turner was a slave. And with other slaves, he decided that they were going to not run away, they were going to fight back. So he led them to fight against the plantation owners in Virginia. They essentially had a revolt. That word comes from revolution. So they attacked plantation owners in Virginia. Abolitionists, this is an important word. You need to know that abolitionists were people who campaigned to end slavery, and Nat Turner was certainly an abolitionist. And now, his revolt was a violent one. Harriet Tubman was also important. She supported a secret route, and that means a path, that escaped enslaved African Americans took. So these were people who were escaping slavery. They were runaways. They ran away from the plantations, and they were seeking freedom up north. This route, this path, became known as the Underground Railroad, and it helped secure freedom for many slaves. There's actually a read aloud that I'm hoping we get to do about some of the way about a certain slave and the creative way he was able to secure his freedom. John Brown led a raid on the U.S. Army arsenal at Harper's Ferry, Virginia. He was trying to start a rebellion, a slave rebellion. He was captured and hanged. Now, interesting thing about John Brown is I grew up in Kansas, and we learned a lot about John Brown. John Brown was an important historical figure in Kansas. There's a painting of him even in our capital, in Topeka, because he helped a lot. Kansas was a territory, and there was a lot of fighting over whether Kansas would be a free or a slave state. And John Brown led a lot of anti-slavery movements and helped keep people from Missouri to come over, who were trying to come over and influence the vote. And when they say he led a raid, he led an attack on the armory. So he led an attack on where weapons were kept, because an armory is where weapons are kept. And of course, he was not able to do that successfully, and that's when he was captured and hanged. So Abraham Lincoln. After Abraham Lincoln was elected president of the United States in 1860, some southern states seceded from the Union and formed the Confederate States of America. The reason why they did this is because President Lincoln was very outspoken about slavery, very outspoken about the fact that he did not believe that any human being should have the right to own another. He was adamant, and that means he was very passionate, and he was determined to make sure that he freed the slaves. And of course, the slave states, the states that were dependent on slaves for their economies, were not very happy at this. So later, Virginia seceded and joined the Confederate States of America because they did not agree with President Lincoln's policies. They did not agree that President Lincoln had the right to tell the states what they should and should not do. But Abraham Lincoln was very, of course, instrumental in making sure that slavery ended. So those just a little information, and I'm going to go ahead and go up so you can pause the screen if you need to learn a little more. Remember, Nat Turner, a revolt, means he led armed attacks against plantation owners in Virginia. Don't forget that word, abolitionists. They're the people who campaigned to end slavery. Abolitionists wanted slavery to end. All right, pause the video here if you want to look at Harriet Tubman. She was amazing. She was an escaped slave herself, and she knew how dangerous, how treacherous, how scary it was to escape on your own. And so when she supported that secret path that runaway and escaped slaves could take, that was a huge heroic thing for her to do, because she kept putting herself in danger to make sure that others could escape slavery as well. John Brown, of course, made the mistake of trying to start a slave rebellion by leading an armed attack on the U.S. Armory where all the weapons were kept, thinking that if he took the weapons away, they would be able to arm the slaves and start a rebellion. But his plan failed, and he was captured and he was hanged. And then, of course, Abraham Lincoln, pause here if you need Abraham, was the President of the United States, elected in 1860, and this is when the Southern states seceded from the Union and formed the Confederate States of America, because they did not agree with Abraham Lincoln's ideals and policies. All right, so this is information that you can use to help you when you're putting together your poster for your press conference. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. Remember to reach out to your teachers if you have any questions. Stay safe, stay awesome, and remember, fourth grade, we are better together. I'll see you guys soon.